About 12 years ago, I had some medical problems with my family, and it caused a lot of debt. And so we tried a strategy called a second lien HELOC, second HELOC, and we kind of did the same thing with it, and it worked much, much slower. But we were able to, in 9 years, pay off all that debt. And so last summer, Nancy did not know this. So last summer, she mentioned to me to read a book about the first lien HELOC. And of course, it was very familiar to me. And I think she had just a little bit of, I want you to kind of look at this. I don't know if you're going to believe it or like it. And as soon as I read it, I was like, this is like what I did on steroids. And so the first lien HELOC worked twice. It's working twice as fast as what I was used to. And I'm so glad that, Roger and the staff there came up with this all-inclusive one, which is really cool. And within that, you can pay off medical debt. Within that, you can pay off school loans, which I know a lot of people are going through. And within that, you can kind of fund your retirement, which is kind of where we're at right now, in the next 5 years to be done and retired. And so to have about half of our property paid off already, we're like ecstatic. It's amazing because I'm a teacher, and being a teacher, I hear it all the time, how much financial burden is on us because we don't get paid a lot. When we started doing this and our debt started going away, it's just liberating. It makes you want to go to work. It gives you purpose in your life. And it's just, it changes your financial mindset. And it makes you disciplined, not in a way that is kind of like your mom told you to be like that. It's in a way that's, I want to see that statement every month go down and down and down. And I look forward to getting that in the mail or in an email every month so that we can set another goal for ourselves.
Like, exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Like investing, we really like investing. My dad was a builder, and so I've always wanted to invest, and we did some investing in New York where we were from. So that's all part of this. And when we heard what was going on with the first lien HELOC, we just never expected that it to work this well, this quickly, and motivate us this much to get to the goal. So, well, having it all in one bank account is awesome. Now, when we had the second lien HELOC and we tried to do this, we had to get all separate accounts. Credit card account was separate. The checking account was separate. Everything was separated. And back then there was no overdraft protection. Everything is all inclusive in this so that you don't have to think. It's daily swept. So you can kind of play with the interest the way you want. And Nancy's been doing such a great job on that, when something like taxes come up or some large expense, we're able to fend that off and it's paid off in a month. And so we don't worry about it. It's just not there.
Well, if we had a 30-year mortgage, we would be 87 years old before we had it paid off, for one, which is a huge difference. When we've had this HELOC now for 5 months, and in that 5 months, we have paid off $25,000 of our principal on the loan. which is impactfully huge. Nobody pays off $25,000 worth of principal when they have a mortgage. That's just completely almost impossible unless you basically have won the lottery. And we are slotted to have our house paid off within about 3.5 years from initiating the first lien HELOC, which is just incredible. We started with this, I kind of like my side of the story with all of this, because we had moved many states away. We had a house in the north, and then we moved to Florida due to a job. That house didn't sell right away, so we went ahead and leased a place for a year. During that lease time is when I started to look at mortgages, because we were getting to the end of the lease and we wanted to buy a house. Our house in the north had sold, which provided us 1/3 of the value that we purchased on this home that we own. So we've gone from 1/3 of it to now having half the house paid off in just a matter of 6 months. It's impactfully crazy. Well, for one thing, the big thing that is the difference between that, just when you take a difference between a first lien HELOC and a mortgage, one is the dollar for dollar value on the interest. You are paying almost the value of the house that you're trying to buy when you have a mortgage, and it's amortized, so that means it's front loaded with interest. So you're basically buying the bank the value of your home. So you're buying a house for the bank before they let you buy your house. And then if you don't make it to the end, you don't get all of the equity in your house, even though you've already bought the house in value for the bank. That's one thing about the mortgage. The other thing that's nice about a HELOC, with a HELOC, that's not going to happen. The amount of interest that you pay on a HELOC is significantly less than you would in a 30-year mortgage. The other thing about a HELOC is that any dollar that you put into that HELOC is a liquid asset for you to use in whatever way you need. If you have a unforeseen life event that occurs, that's available for you to cover yourself. If you don't have anything like that and life is really good for you, you have that money which you can take and invest in either other real estate properties or other types of investments. There is no requirement of you of how you use that money. It's yours, it's your asset. You can do with it as you wish.
For us, I have 5 years left to retire and collect Social Security. So at this point, many people are looking at how am I going to replace that income to get me to that point. And for us now, there really isn't, because it will allow us to have that freedom already. So we're looking at investing in order to get even more of that to replace the Social Security that we might be getting in the near future. So it just gives you so much more freedom to think about how you want to invest your money and not worry about, say, the stock market crashing and you're losing your money. And that's happened in the past with teachers, their funds. I've been through 2 of those in my tenure as a teacher, where people lost a lot from their retirement funds. You have control over that, and that's the biggest thing right there, is you control what kind of investments you want to make and how much interest you want to earn on those investments. That's a huge thing right there. It's for both. There's so many different ways to use the HELOC for retirement, just because we're doing it that way. But I can remember using that second lien HELOC. How this first lien HELOC would work even better was to pay our kids' college expenses, and so that's huge. I mean, you think about the trillions of dollars that the United States is in the hole now for school loans. You don't even have to go there. You don't have to borrow money from the government. You wouldn't have to borrow a parent loan. You wouldn't have to do any of that. You would have the liquid money to write a check to the college and say, here's the tuition, get my kid a degree so that he can take care of me when I'm 70 years old. And that's really the beauty of it, not to have that financial worry. There's no reason to wait. I mean, if you want financial freedom, and I just hear it every day. You hear every day someone is saying, I can't afford to do this, or my elderly mom or dad is in need. They didn't save like they should have, and so the burden is on us now. Or the kids need some sort of down payment on a house, and so how are they going to do that? They're really good. There's just so many situations I can think of in life that come up that would allow you to use this HELOC in a very practical and powerful way.
I have a little saying that I've made up about this, and it's called the 4 L's. Okay, and this is my reason why somebody needs to do a first lien HELOC. So the first thing that you need to do is get the first lien HELOC. The second L that you need to do is to leverage your money. And that's what you can do once you have the first lien HELOC.
Because it's yours.
Right. The next thing that happens is once you've leveraged your money, you become liquid. Once you are liquid, you acquire true liberty.
Financial liberty, which is really, really great.